Hey yogis, find yourself in a comfortable seated posture and we'll get to it today. So with that, reaching the arms out and up over the head, just a big stretch, and then exhale, lower the hands down. Inhale, up, exhale, down. Inhale, up with the arms, and exhale, down with the arms. Inhale, up, and exhale, down. Making your way to a seated twist. We'll bring the left hand over towards the right leg and inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist. Right arm is behind you, nice and close, tucked in. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist. Just a couple of breaths in that twist on this side. Find the opposite side, right hand towards left leg. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist. Left arm's in nice and close. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist. And then as you unwind, roll the shoulders up, down, and back a few times, and then opposite direction a few times, just to kind of loosen up in this area. Ear to shoulder, and take the left hand, if you're going left ear, left shoulder, left hand towards the head and right arm extends nice and long, just for something a little bit extra. You want to find a nice lengthening without an overstretch here, chin to chest. Find right ear towards the right shoulder. The right hand can add weight without pulling and tugging, and the left arm can extend for just something extra here. Take your breaths in and out through the nose if possible. And then go ahead and find a half straddle pose. So arms overhead, we're just going to find any adjustment we can here. As you start to fold, you want to make sure there's no rounding in the upper back. It's a nice hinge. Keep the extended leg active. You can find that side stretch this way if that feels like a good plan for you. There's really not a whole lot of rules around this. You just want to be careful and take it easy. Any bend towards the knee is helpful for the hamstring as well. Finding yourself in a bound ankle pose, feet together, same thing, hinge forward without rounding. As you find that second side for that straddle or half straddle, make sure that the extended foot is active, toes towards the ceiling. You want to find that hinge without that rounding, and you want to continue the breath here. So if your knees do not touch the ground, that is fine. Better for the hamstrings, use any prop or tool here that you like. Comfortable seated posture. Again, I like to find Sukhasana or easy pose and then go ahead and find the arm stretches. You don't want to grab the elbow, you want to grab the bicep or perhaps even the wrist. Make sure you find both sides here, just a nice lengthening, something we may not always do every day. So rolling the shoulders up, down, and back again, finding ear to shoulder. Anything goes as you work your way towards all fours, tabletop posture. Find your cat-cow poses. Stay soft in the elbows, don't walk out the arms. Try to stack shoulders over elbows and elbows over wrists. As you round, drop the belly, lift the seat, lift the head. Make sure you're breathing in and out, in and out. Working towards your first down dog of your practice. In down dog, pedal it out, shake it out. Find the posture that feels good for you today. Make sure that you can find length in the backs of the legs. Heels may not draw all the way towards the mat. That's totally fine. You want to find length without that overstretching again. Make sure the ears are in between the biceps. Feel free to kick legs up one at a time for that 3-limb down dog hip opener. Find both sides. Just kind of play around in your down dog again. Take it easy on the wrist. If you need to take a little break, come out of it, no problem. Plank pose, top of your push-up posture. Find yourself here nice and strong, nice and lengthened. Feel free to drop the knees towards the mat. Take a mini push-up just to get going, and then lower all the way to your belly. Going through the series of options, we've got a wide arm cobra pose, Bhujangasana. So fingertips. And then I work towards a more traditional posture of Bhujangasana, or traditional way to go about it. Make sure you lift the heart, keep the ribs on the ground. Here's Shalabhasana. So this time we want to lift the feet, toes close together if possible. Lift the chest. And then upward facing dog. So you've got some options when you decide to go for the Chaturanga. So take one, leave it, take them all, leave them all. It's up to you. Make your way back to downward facing dog. As you find downward facing dog, shift forward into your plank pose, top of your push-up posture. Lowering into your downward facing dog, or back to your downward facing dog, I should say, back to plank pose. And then find your way through your Chaturanga. So forward pose, maybe you start low, maybe you go all the way with it. Shift back to child's pose. In child's pose, try and find your breath, collect your breath again. This can be your resting pose if that works for your knees and your low back. Just a side stretch here in child's pose, continuing with side opening throughout this entire practice. So coming back through the other side, making sure you find the other side and finding your way back to downward facing dog. Big breath in, big breath out. Hands walk back towards the feet this time. We're going to find a standing forward fold. Generously bend the knees. Let yourself feel at ease here. Finding side stretches once again. Making your way right, making your way left. Finding that length in the side body. You can find a halfway lift. Make sure the hips can draw back, that the spine is nice and long. Back is long. And fold it down. Inhale, root to rise. Reach and extend. And side stretch. So the theme repeats, the side stretching, the opening, the warming up elements. Make your way back to the forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach and extend. Half sun A. Exhale, swan dive it down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, root to rise. Reach, lift and extend. And exhale. Hold it all the way down. Walk it out, all the way out towards your plank pose. Offer for that mini push-up, back up to plank, and then a chaturanga. If that sounds like a good idea, you have lots of options for this today, so that's going to be your blanket invitation. Make your way back to downward dog, perhaps via child's pose. Take a big breath in, big breath out. The inhale walks you forward, and it's a halfway lift still. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, root to rise. Reach, lift, and extend. Exhale, swan dive it down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plank pose, top of your push-up posture. Go ahead and find the flow of your choice and make your way to downward facing dog. Big inhale, big exhale. Bigger inhale, and a bigger exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Look forward, it's an inhale, walk, step, or maybe float if you're ready. Halfway lift, inhale, exhale, fold it down. Inhale, root to rise, reach, lift, and extend. And exhale, swan dive it down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step it back. Plank pose, offer for your flow. So again, finding a sun A that works for you, that feels right in your body, that gets you warmer, but not tired. We really want to power through just a few sun A's, and then we'll go for the sun B's. So inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Finding a nice, long and tall chair pose. We want to be grounded in the feet, but we also want to lengthen through the upper part of our body. So stand up, shake that out just a little bit. We're going to work back into it. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Make sure the toes stay light. Make sure you can find length and ground at the same time. Forward fold, halfway lift, step it back, downward facing dog. Working into our first warrior one. So we're going to just lengthen through the right leg and then step the right foot in between the hands. Get yourself set up. Drop the left heel. We want heel to heel alignment. We want squared hips, squared shoulders, nice long torso. And then if you're adding the arms, go ahead and keep the shoulders out of the ears. Make your way back, plank pose. You can chaturanga here if you'd like, or just shift back, downward facing dog. So second side, warrior one. We want the left leg to lengthen, reach, and extend, and we want the left leg to step in between the hands, heel to heel. Strong back leg, which is right leg this time. Left knee over left ankle. Strong left leg. Inhale, reaches the arms up. Exhale. We want to take about 3 breaths total in our warrior ones. And go ahead and make your way back to downward facing dog. You can chaturanga in between again. Finding yourself working towards inhales and exhales, one breath per movement as you find your chaturanga. Back to downward dog, just a breath or two. So step forward, hop forward, reach forward, chair pose, Utkatasana. And stand up, mountain pose. Tadasana. Inhale, reach, chair pose, Utkatasana, or fierce pose, sometimes hear it called. And fold it down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Make your way to downward facing dog, or meet me in downward facing dog. Big breath in, big breath out. Rolling for it. Warrior one, right foot steps in between the hands. Set yourself up. Find the alignment that works for you. Take a couple breaths in your warrior one and make your way towards downward facing dog. Left side. Warrior one, left foot steps in between the hands. Drop the right heel. Inhale, lift, square. Find focus in the posture. Focus in the stability. Hands find the ground. Plank pose, invitation to flow, chaturanga. Down dog, take a breath, take 3 breaths, take 2 breaths. Allow yourself to reconnect. Step it forward, halfway lift, inhale, exhale, fold it down. Inhale, reach, chair pose, Utkatasana. Standing up, mountain pose. Inhale, chair pose. Sitting down in that chair, tall chair pose. Halfway lift, inhale, exhale, downward facing dog. Make your way there. Whatever happens in between is yours, yogi's choice. Take the inhale and the exhale. All right foot steps in between the hands, warrior one. Take a couple breaths with that nice alignment. And then back to downward facing dog. Left foot. And left foot steps in between the hands, warrior one. Reach and extend. Back to downward dog. Take a couple breaths here. Make your way to the top of the mat. Just chair pose. Standing up, mountain pose. Nice. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we're going to make our way towards a wide leg forward fold. You don't need the feet to be too wide here. Hand underneath the nose, opposite hand towards the hip or the sky. Second side. And always rest the hand on the hip if it's too much extension towards the ceiling. Walk it out to a nice wide leg downward dog. And back to your wide leg forward fold. We're going to go for some side lunges here. So as much or as little as is appropriate for you today. Getting a little bit deeper. I'm supporting myself here. So make sure you support yourself. If your leg's extended, have those toes towards the ceiling. The bent knee, heel may not touch the ground. That's totally fine. So as you find both sides, just make sure that you support yourself here. You don't need to balance. You don't need to do any tricks. Just finding that length in the legs. Hamstring in particular. Calf gets a nice stretch, hopefully, and the Achilles as well. So we're going for gate pose, Parangasana. So you want to line up. Find some space in the waist. You want to open up through the shoulder. If you're on your left knee, you want your right knee leg extended. So make sure you find both sides here. We're going to find a plank variation as well. Offer for the bind if you can catch the bind. Just play a little bit here with your side plank variation. So gate pose, find it again. Nice lengthening through the side bodies. We come back, we circle back around to the side bodies we've been focused on today. As you find your second side, make sure, same thing, you want to line up hip over knee and then shoulder over hip, and then find the length through the opposite leg. You want to find your shoulder, elbow, and wrist supported here in this side plank variation. Give yourself the opportunity to find the bind if it's part of your practice, or just stay with the foot on the ground and handle. All good, yogis. Another gate pose, Parangasana. And make your way to plank pose. Knees on the ground for Chaturanga. That's an option, always an option. You can go more traditional, whatever you like. Make your way back to downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths. And find yourself all the way forward to a yogi's squat. So I'm moving just so that you can get a better picture of my heels. Heels don't have to find the ground. I want to lift, stand. Heels are still lifted, so I'm finding tiptoes. So that was just a little piece if you need to take a second for reference. We're going to reach back up all the way to an upward salute. Exhale, fold it down. Halfway lift, inhale, and step back to plank pose. As you find yourself in plank pose, shift towards a pigeon pose. So I've got my right leg in front, and my right heel is pretty close to my thigh. Check in with my left leg. I tuck my toes under just to find the top of my foot and make sure that that foot is not sickling inward. I can physically lift out of my hips. I'm not putting all my weight into the hip and the knee on the right side, but I'm really equally supported on the left side of my body. If you're choosing to fold forward, try to resist the urge to round through the upper back. Breathe into what would be your hip pockets, and if you can, take 3 to 5 breaths. As you find your second side, same thing. You want to stay out of the left hip this time. That's the foot that's in front. That's the knee that's taking a little bit of weight, but not all my body weight. My right foot is not sickling inward. I've got the top of the foot on the mat. And as I hinge forward, I keep the rounding out of the upper back. Focus on my breath. Try and relax the shoulders. Relax the jaw. Sometimes we clench the jaw when we're in these poses that really activate through the hips. So keep that in mind. As you exit your pigeon pose, maybe it's a gentle down dog. Maybe it's a 3-limb down dog. Perhaps it's just finding a nice seated posture. You can go any way you want here. We're going to make our way down to our back as we start to slow it down and close out the practice for today. Right knee stays drawn in as the left leg extends out. You can grab your calf, your thigh, your right leg, anywhere you can reach to find that leg extension, that extension towards the ceiling. Then I come back to a nice bent knee and a nice simple twist. Again, as much or as little as is appropriate for you. Be really careful here, taking a gentle aspect to the remainder of this practice. Both knees drawing towards the chest, just a little back massage. Extend the right leg. Hold the left knee in towards the chest as best you can. And as you find that extension, grab perhaps the ankle, calf, big toe, or thigh, and work towards a gentle twist. Taking your time, finding your breath, and staying in that pattern. So drawing both knees in towards the chest one more time. If there's any last posture you'd like to find before you complete your practice today, please go ahead and take a few moments to find that. And then work yourself into your version of Shavasana. If you're lying flat, you can go palms up or palms down, whatever feels most comfortable for you. If you can close the eyes, begin to close your eyes. Relax the legs. Relax the arms. Soften the belly. Soften the heart. Relax your jaw. Soften your brows. And do your best to quiet the mind. all your awareness on the chest rising inhales and release on the exhale. In and out. Awareness back into the body. Start to stretch the arms overhead, side movements, wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingers. And make your way onto your favorite side. Using your top hand pressed down to help assist yourself into a comfortable seated posture. Taking another breath. Thank you so much for practicing, yogis. Namaste.